You say from the new presentation uh, has emerged from the old past that has given birth to the new nowness life is. And we are graced with the presence of the new woman and the new man here in the worlds of creation. So will this new nowness ever be new? And is it determined by the presence of a real guide at this life level to maintain its vitality, or will this new nowness become old too and become like the old past now?
How fast do you want to get there, Charles?
As soon as possible, even now.
It sounds like you want to get there really fast. It's like, oh, I can't wait till it gets really old. Okay. Yeah. So, it's how we decide and present and pronounce things. Really, that's a big deal. You're a teacher, you know. It's like that's like asking the kids in your class, what's going to happen when are you going to get old, and what's going to happen when you get old? You want to talk about that? You want to talk about old age to young kids? So here's the idea. The idea is that, again, like the group I wrote yesterday, not about me. All right, see, this is the best. I like the position that I am grateful to recognize, and that is I get to use the beach over here, but I don't need to own it, and so I don't have to clean it up. And so the idea here is that life itself is what it is. And you might say, we'll just use the idea, it decides. See, that's what I see. It decides. And what takes place here in the physical sense is going to take place. Eventually they're going to obliterate the whole world. This is all they have left. Oh, things can look okay for a while, but this has all been determined. Until nobody has any kind of awareness at all or objection, they're going to eliminate every objection. This is what they're doing. Those that control this planet, let's see. But once you learn to give up the agreement and have the awareness, that becomes a reality more so. But for people to do that, for the most part, they're afraid. So they're not going to object. But they're always looking, just like the Nazis in World War II. They went through house to house to see who objected, who were the so-called Jews, who were the bad guys, who's against the party, etc. These are the elites of the world. This is how this place is. Yeah, so, and the new nowness, the new presentation, etc., it's really not based upon what I write, present, have established here, or whatever, or the 501c3 corporation, or any of this funny stuff. It's not based upon that. It's all about the isness life is. And so this is where we use the idea of the real side to see it from there. You see? And like Dupong's from Africa, his one of many experiences with the real the real me, the real side, etc. That's one of many. And so again, that's where it is. It's that is a recognition. And so this is what it takes to where we need to slip out of the personal self. But it's not about going to sleep. It's right here. You learn to recognize it right here. I'm really not concerned about that so-called real side. I do that so that these are steps that people have an advantage to see something. But for me, no, because it's an isness. That's the best part of it. It all is. It's a recognition every moment. So This is where, too, uh, again, get ready, just like today. It's a new day. We're not implying the new presentation to be what it has always been. It's a very subtle shift, is what it is. We're shifting into the next step little by little here. I see this. And so it takes a lot of explanation sometimes for others to see it because they start to hold on to the old ideas. Again, everything that is presented can be very useful, but it's a reference. See? It's simply a reference. So it's kind of like all your dishes and silverware and your glassware and everything that you have in your house. I mean, you don't want to become so attached to it because these are things that you just use from time to time, to where that every time you leave the house, you got to pack them up into boxes and suitcases and throw them in the car. It's like, oh, I just love this stuff, you know? No, that would be a little bit silly, wouldn't it, in the physical sense? Would it make sense? Well, you can do it. You have that choice. But it's a little bit funny, isn't it? So again, just like the utensils you use here, they're references. And so this is the fun part. Who will pay attention to the real side to see what's really going on? Because that's where it really takes place. And this is where, you know, even when Paul was here, the criticisms were there because these people, they were one-dimensional. They just used their critical mind to criticize. They didn't see the real Paul and what he presented. And so this becomes the fun part, and it is a challenge. So I don't assume this or that about it from where I stand. I just see moment to moment what makes sense. And Val and Kelsey know this. One moment we're going to do this, the next moment we're going to do that, because all of a sudden it's a new moment. And all of a sudden it's like, okay, we were going to do that, but you know what? We're not going to do that. Or maybe we'll do it later. We'll see. You know, one of the things we were doing little by little is confronting OCC, but as other things come in that supersede that, that's what we're going to go for, and that's what we're going to put our attention on. See? But in the meantime, we'll play with some of that stuff and learn, and we'll see what that comes from that. But probably, for the most part, we'll drop it. Because, again, something else is better is coming along. So, yes, I would say instead of focusing on anything like that, and yes, you could think about it in your own mind, but realistically, when each individual that has the courage to step up and do something with what has been created and presented here that makes sense, I would say take the time to do it with that instead of wondering, gee, what's going to happen to it. You see? Look at the United States. We already know. We already know what's happened. We don't have to wonder anymore. We know exactly what's happening and where it's going. So we don't even have to put our attention there. So I would suggest you figure this out and recognize the references and the hints I'm giving, and to more so learn to stand real with the real guides and all those that have the real intent to do so, because there is a bigger picture, but you got to keep up. You got to see it. And the personal mind stuff is not going to do it because it has nothing to do with it. The real universal position that I'm deciding here has nothing to do with any of this stuff. It's all restriction. Yeah, so it's going to be interesting how it comes out. I got to see myself because life is bigger than me. I make the decision, but let's see what happens. So this is the fun part. Yes, Charles. Yes, we're on the big adventure. You're part of it too, Charles.
Yeah, Duane. I ask about this, about the continuity of the Nunowness life is, it's because not everyone who would have loved to hear about this has heard. And it seems that the new man has to be at this level of life, in order to help agitate people and move them into realizing the true reality life is. And so when we imagine that this Nunowness will not last forever. Will not last forever. We are shaken, that would the new presentation become history buried in the forces of history? Then will be dug again up and referenced to say, oh, there was a new man who came to this world. And he did this and that, and maybe at that time of talking, the new presentation would be something else. So one imagines this kind of scenario, and it's very, very, I cannot see that, cannot imagine it well enough. I cannot see it well enough. So that's why I'm asking, because we have a breath of fresh air now. The new man and new woman are there, and they're doing a lot to make things, to get things done, for people to pay attention. So, it's a little, would I say scary or anything, or I don't know what more adjective to use, to find that the Nunowness becomes some kind of a thing of the past. So one needs to know from you if you've given an answer there, but I don't think, to me rather, it has not cleared things enough.
Well, here's the idea, Charles, because it's up to you. See, you asked the question, so it's really up to you. I'm already doing my part, so it's up to each person. So are you going to make sure this will not happen? See, it's up to you. It's not asking the question to others. Ask yourself. So every moment, what are you doing to make sure that it won't go according to what you're imagining? You see? It's up to you.
Okay, that is certain. It's up to us, actually. But well, so be it. Okay, Duane, I begin to imagine a scenario where you were talking to the Pope. Maybe you engaged in a conversation about the reality of life, and I want to imagine how this kind of confrontation, would I say, yeah, it will surely result in a confrontation, because we have differing views. The most famous person in Christendom and the new man engaged in a conversation. So then, can you imagine such a scenario and how it would look like?
Yes, let's have some fun, Charles. You be the Pope, okay, and I'll be Duane. Okay? Okay, you be the Pope. Go ahead.
Okay. For instance, I'm the Pope. I want to I want to know what you are doing to help people become more successful in this life.
Actually, Mr. Pope, the question should be, what are you actually doing to help people become more successful? And really, people want to know what you're doing all the time, especially behind closed doors. So are you going to tell us what you're doing, what you're really doing?
Oh, well, these are papal secrets, and the position of Pope is a holy one, and the Christians are just they're just there to get what the representative of God is giving them, and so I think your question is out of place because when the voice of God speaks, man must listen. So the Pope can retort in that kind of way.
So these things. So these things that is that the devil laughing? So these things that we got a little play going here now. Charles, you started it. Okay, so when these things are given to God, are you? So in other words, that's a cute idea, but really you get them, right? That's all the gold and riches and diamonds that you guys got, and the just everything's like gold, and so. What part of that does God get? It looks like you got it all. So how is this divided up?
Oh, it's not really divided, It's not really shared. It is said that the Holy Scriptures that
now you're being too truthful because you're saying it's not divided, it's not being shared. So again, you've got it all. So thank you very much. Now we're on the right track. Now you're being more honest. Thank you.
Yeah, Mr. Newman. And what is your idea about baptism and communion? Do you have it?
I don't have it. Are you still looking for it? I don't have baptism or communion. So again, I don't have it really. I'm looking through my pockets, and I don't have any pockets in my shirt, but I don't have it. Is it still missing?
Do you practice it?
Do you
agree with the ideas of baptism and communion? Because in communion we're commemorating the fact that Jesus died on the cross, gave his body and blood for us to be free, and so we reenact that process of sacrifice. So what do you do in your setup?
Basically, I sleep late and then think about the rest of the day as I go along. That's about it. And then I write a little bit and talk to Ava.
That was really fun, Duane. Very impromptu.
And that's not behind closed doors either.
Okay. Yeah, Duane, that was really fun. They were quite funny.
Well, let's have a little fun here, Charles. So somebody snuck in and they were playing the devil's advocate here. So we know who that is. So maybe they can speak up. Maybe they can speak for the devil because you spoke for God. Okay, now we need someone to speak for the devil. So does the devil have any questions?
Yeah, Mr. Devil, Lucifer.
The best part is you all got to come see me.
Oh, yeah, devil. Would you be redeemed by the blood of Christ?
I don't know. Your God created me. What do you think He has to say?
Oh, God is supreme as the creator of everything, and everything goes through God, through the Holy Spirit, to get to God, to heaven. So you need some redemption.
Yeah, Pope. I need some more redemption too. So can you handle that?
Well, you have the priests and the pastors, the priests and the cardinals who can intercede for you before God.
But Pope, I control them. I mean, I'm just working on you next.
Oh, you're working on me? So, devil,
I think I got you because you are hoarding all the gold.
Well, it's never too late to repent and be redeemed. Christ died on the cross. Jesus died on the cross and shed his blood for you to be redeemed. And so,
No, Pope. I put him up there. He didn't need to be redeemed. I just wanted you guys to check him out.
oh. Well, it seems you are not, you don't adhere to the tenets of the church. And maybe you need some catechism in order to fully understand what religion is and the role of the priests, the priesthood. Everything.
I think you got the wrong idea again. You need to go back and talk to the new man. He can help you out a lot.
Oh, the new man. The new man. Is he a priest? Does he believe in God? What does he stand for, the new man?
New man here. Okay, I'm fine with everything. I can hear what you guys. I can hear what you kids are saying, and I'm fine with everything. So yes, and the devil's right. You do have all the gold, and you're hoarding it, and it's been redeemed to you, right? Is that redemption? I get what redemption is, Pope. So again, yeah, you got this place. You want it. It's yours. This rock and space. You can have it. So have fun with it. There's more if you want to see more, but you decide. So yeah, you and the devil. You got a deal going here, don't you?
In fact, the earth belongs to the poor. Blessed are the poor in spirit, for theirs is the kingdom of God. And so don't mind about the earthly riches, for everything will be yours in heaven.
Yeah, don't pay attention to those earthly riches, devil. He'll take care of them for you. So you keep struggling down below there, and maybe clean up your room once in a while. You know, it's a little messy. Turn down the heat too, will you?
Okay, thank you very much, Duane, playing that role. Oh, that was really fun. Very unexpected play.
Yeah, yeah. The kids have a Trailblazer Pioneer Tales thing, and we did a lot of things. Chris and I, in the past, we did strange things and quite a few. And this is fun. If you can get the Africans together, get them involved in something. This shares ideas, so again, to get you out of the norm, to have some fun, and just to play around a little bit with these ideas that we're dealing with every day. Yeah. But it is a new day, and this is our new focus. And so we have the references of what we've been through. Everything's credible, and everything's fine. So we just do what we can, because this is how creation is, and we got to deal with the free will of others, which is fine. So this is how we learn. This is why we're here, to become more aware. So yes, thank you, Charles. Yes, until next time. Oh, you're wonderful. Go
Thank
ahead.
you, Duane.
Yes, thank you. Thank you for showing up. It's very important that you do. Thank you.